Sara, do you want to just start off by telling us a little bit about you and what you do?
Yeah, so I'm Sara Webster, as you said, and I'm the marketing director at Hutchison Technologies and Hutchison International. So two sides of the business. Hutchison Technologies is our technology side, as the name would suggest. Hutchison International is the supply chain management side of the business. So two quite different types of businesses, which keeps it really interesting. There's a lot of diversity in what we do there, working across both brands and having to change that from a marketing point of view, that tone of voice between what can be quite a straight and functional delivery in the supply chain management, where they don't really want too much of our flowery marketing piece, and then getting to be a little bit more liberated and free with the way that we speak in Hutchison Technologies and trying to bring a bit of personality to what we do. So I'm in charge of a team of 6 marketeers. And we cover all of the functions from copywriting to graphic design to videography, and producing all of the materials that support both sides of the business, which keeps it really interesting, really exciting.
Well, and that ties really nicely into my next question, which is, tell us what you like best about what you do, and is there a story to that?
Yeah, I guess, I mean, it's probably no surprise after what I've just said that I thrive in the diversity of what I get to do on a day-to-day basis. My career has come from 15 years marketing agency side. So I'm really used to variety. I'm used to moving from client to client and channel to channel. And when I moved to a client-side role at Hutchison's, I was a little bit worried that I wouldn't get that diversity and I would really miss that variation and excitement on a day-to-day basis. And like I said, I really didn't need to worry. If anything, the variety has increased in the way that we get to work at Hutchison's. And a lot of that is what you make for yourself. You know, you need to put in a little bit of effort. But not only do I have the responsibilities for the team and the various skill sets that we've got and the different materials that we're trying to produce, but I do that alongside my responsibilities for taking the business forward as part of the senior leadership team. And that means that it keeps it all really exciting. I mean, it's a bit of a cliche probably, but no 2 days are the same. And I really thrive on that.
So we're asking all of our interviewees what their favourite thing is about Dundee or Angus or the area in general. So what's your favourite thing?
Well, I'm a Fifer, so am I allowed to say that it's close to Fife? I'm fully joking. But I did grow up in a village that was 9 miles from Dundee, so I don't think it gives too much away when I say that I've been visiting Dundee for pretty much 40 years. My mum and dad used to take me shopping on a Saturday morning to the Wellgate, and I would go out on a Sunday afternoon to the old Olympia and get to go swimming, buy my Highland toffee bar at the vending machine. So I've spent a lot of my life visiting Dundee and watching the evolution that the city's taken into the sort of modern, vibrant, energetic city that it is just now. And it really is quite a spectacular transformation. I know a lot of people that have done these interviews have talked about the V&A and the cultural contribution that Dundee's making, and that's fantastic. I love what we're doing there. But if you add into that the universities that the city's got, the quality of the students that we're producing, and the games development industry and technology industries that we work in, and I think anybody would struggle to say or say that it's not impressive the way Dundee's growing and changed. So for me, it's the transformation of the city most, the shift from it's probably controversial to say, but the old grey Dundee that was probably most loved by its residents and perhaps not so noted by people outside Dundee, us Fifers, now to a city that's got real ambition and it's blazing a trail in Scotland and the UK and further afield. And, that's fantastic to watch and to have been privy to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We have gone through such a transformation, and it feels like it's been just quite recent, and yet it's been a pretty long journey, hasn't it? It's very interesting. Okay, yeah. Well, my next question is all just a bit of a random one. What's your favourite time of the year and why?
Oh, I've had a real long think about this because my answer's pretty quick, but why was the part that was quite hard. So summertime is definitely my favourite time of year. Personally, we've got a flurry of family birthdays in July, and it's the start of the school holidays. I've got young kids, so there's lots of excitement, and it's quite easy to get swept up with that. You get a little bit more time with the family with the school holidays being on. Things are just a little bit more relaxed. There's a bit more of the freedom in life that you don't necessarily get during term time. And then the warmer weather comes in, and I'm an absolute sun worshipper, and that's normally the time with the kids being on holiday that we get to fly away somewhere warm and sunny. In our case, normally the Canary Islands, and enjoy the weather there. Not this year, unfortunately. I've also, thanks to COVID, so I've lost the summer holidays or the holidays abroad, but I have actually recently developed a love of walking that I had no idea I had. If somebody had told me to go for a walk, probably in my teens and 20s and probably even 30s, I wouldn't have done it. You know, unless the dog needed to go out, it wasn't something for me. But I've really learned to love and appreciate getting out to nature and getting that fresh air and just resetting and being able to do that. And the longer, warmer days in the summer, the evenings after work, when you can actually go out and do that 7 days a week, I really appreciate. From a working point of view, I think I've only been at Hutchison's for a year, 1 July. So, but what I was really struck by, even during the period that we've just had, was there was a sense of anticipation. There was something, it felt like not only were we probably coming out the worst of lockdown and there was better times coming, but it's the start of our new financial year. Slightly strange time for business, I know, but it is. And having those new targets and something to aim for, I find really exciting. And I think it was quite tangible at Hutchison's as well. That was a very long answer to that question.
No, I mean, I think the thing about getting out and walking, I think that when that was all we could do was get out for that hour, you know, I think there's lots of people that have kind of rediscovered the area that is round and about them, or the, you know, the enjoyment, because we maybe just got a bit more time. I don't know if it's that, but yeah. I mean, the next thing that, you know, I've been asking people is, I mean, we're not in full lockdown, although bits of Scotland are in pretty tough restrictions at the moment.
Yeah.
So what is the thing that you're missing most during all of these restrictions and lockdowns?
Yeah, I mean, I count myself pretty lucky just now that we're not one of the regions that are suffering the tighter restrictions, but obviously they're there for a reason. I think if you'd asked me what I missed a couple of months ago, I probably would have said the kids being at school. But actually, once we nailed our routine, it was actually a real treat to have kids at home, you know, being involved in the life with them. And actually, for me, what was even more exciting was for them to get to see what I do a little bit more and be exposed to it. And I think they really understand what it means when mummy goes to work. And so that was fantastic. What I really miss, I think, if you were to sum it up in a term, I think, is the connection with people. I miss seeing my work colleagues in the office rather than on the screen. In some cases, I miss getting the opportunity to meet my new work colleagues, because there's an awful lot of them that I haven't met yet. I miss getting to go into the office. Our office is really cool. It's shaped like a typewriter from an aerial view. Makes it really difficult to navigate and get used to, but it's really cool from an aerial point of view. Personally, I miss popping in to see my parents and getting to go and visit my gran and give her a hug. I miss getting to see friends and the obvious, getting to go out and about and just that freedom. But actually, I think I can forego that if I get that relationship with the people that I love and the people that I want to live out. So yeah, I think it's connection in a nutshell, but there's lots of strands to that.
Yeah. Our work has all changed so much during the crisis. I mean, that's a given, isn't it? But can you just talk about how your work has changed and what it looks like in the future?
Yeah, well, I mean, my work has actually changed. So I started a new job on the 1st of June. Left my last job as a client director in an agency, and moved to Dundee, which was meant to lessen my commute, but actually my commute has become the shortest possible. So I mean, I've everything in my working life has changed phenomenally, as I was expecting it to. but primarily remotely. So my commute, and I was traveling to Edinburgh, but I was also traveling further afield quite regularly to other parts of the UK and Europe and the States as well. So it was definitely a case of planes, trains, and automobiles for me now, and it's really nice to be not just settled from a remote point of view, but settled in a role in Dundee. That yes, there will be travel, but it'll be far less frequent than it was before. In terms of like the role and the way we've been working operationally, we've had to work hard, like everybody else, to make working from home work for us. We've onboarded a lot of people into the team. I said previously that we were a team of 6. When I was hired in January, I was number 2 in the team. So we've done quite a bit of hiring, bucking the trend definitely there, which is really pleasing to see from my point of view. But that working from home and onboarding from home is something that we worked really hard, and I'm hoping that that's momentum that we can take forward, and work-life balance, home office balance will hopefully become a little bit better for everybody. I'm a really big advocate for that. In terms of marketing, I think we did as a business, when I joined, we were in the middle of a massive pivot. So I mentioned before that we've got the technologies side and the international side. It was during COVID that the international side really came into its own, and we pivoted really quickly to use the supply chain that we already had set up and testing kits and supplied them to the NHS and other people. And that was phenomenal from the sort of logistics part of the business. But I think what was easy to forget is that they all require marketing materials. They all need medical spec sheets for face masks and swab kits, and lots of quite technical, detailed pieces that were a new piece of work for the marketing team. So we really had to pivot and learn on our feet to be able to do that. And I guess what we've learned out of all of that is just how much you can achieve during a period of time if there's a requirement and a demand. And it's an ethos that I really want to be able to take and use to drive not just the marketing department, but the whole of the business forward, because we've already done it. We've already shown that it's possible. It's keeping that out with the confines of COVID.
Yeah, that's it. The pace of change in crisis has been phenomenal, hasn't it? But yeah, can be a bit difficult to keep up with as well. It depends on the different people in your team, doesn't it, and how they respond to different scenarios. But everybody's just been incredible, haven't they? I mean, I think my next, I'm curious with everybody about, what's on your bucket list. So, but not your normal bucket list. So what's the first thing that would be at the top of your lockdown bucket escape list?
Well, I don't think I gave anything away again when it's no surprise that I want to go to the Canaries. So I've actually had 2 holidays. I say holidays, one proper family holiday and a sneaky wee getaway planned, and both have disappeared in front of my eyes, and for very justifiable reasons. But as soon as we can safely, I think we will be taking those holidays back up and getting out and getting some sun. I think we've missed that guaranteed hot weather that you perhaps don't get in Scotland. More simply, I think I'd like all the simple things like getting the kids to the swimming pool, being able to go back to gyms more freely, eating out, going to the cinema, like nice, happy, normal family stuff. But also I'm really conscious that, a lot of these businesses that we're talking about that we want to use have really struggled, and actually being able to go out and make sure that we make a difference and try and help them stay afloat, I think, is becoming more important than perhaps it would have been before the crisis.
Yeah. And have you had a message for the people out there about the world of work, things that you've learned about world of work, business, yourself? What would it be?
I think for me, it really helps to remember that everyone in business is human. They think, they talk, they feel just like you. I think it's really easy to get caught up and build things up in your head. And everyone has a bit of an imposter syndrome every now and again. That's okay, but always bring it back to that human element.
I like that. And how do people get in touch with you if they fancy a chat?
I think give us a buzz, phone the main number, visit the website. That's got all of the contact details then. Look me up on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to have a chat. I think you probably just heard that I like to get my tuppence worth in. But the website is the main way. So our URL is www.hutchison-t.com. And there's a contact us page there that you'll get one of the team or myself, and we'd be happy to have a chat.
Brilliant. Sarah, thank you so much. It's been really interesting to kind of hear your thoughts, and for those of you that are watching us on our YouTube channel, you'll know that this is in one of a series of our Take a Seat. So it's been brilliant to do a spotlight with you today. Thanks so much for taking part. Really, really appreciate it, and look forward to catching up with you again. Thanks, Sarah.
Fantastic. Thanks for having me. Thank you.